Why I've become a Trump supporter. Before I get into that, let me tell you why I supported someone like Biden in the first place. It wasn't because Biden is a world-class statesman or because the citizens of the world look at deep, meaningful words of wisdom that come from Biden's mouth on almost a daily basis.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
It was more because I have always been a traditional left-leaning liberal. By left-leaning liberal, I mean a classical liberal of the 70s who recognizes how liberty and freedom and individualism should be at the forefront of our civilization, where we value one life just as much as we value a million lives. I know, sometimes we can't always live up to this standard, especially in wars, but we strive for it, yeah? Anyway, because of this, I would support the Democrats as a political party. But in recent times, I'm finding myself more and more in agreement with the conservatives than the so-called left-leaning liberals. The left of today has totally lost its sense of reality. So no, it wasn't Biden per se. It was more so the ideology that I wanted to stay loyal to. But I can't stay loyal to an ideology that is hell-bent on self-destructing and taking down everyone with it. Biden on his own was never good enough to be followed anyway. Even the votes he got in 2020 were not because of his brilliance, but because of anti-Trump propaganda that made people vote for him. So that's the end of the line for me when it comes to Biden. Now, let me say that I never really hated Trump. I just didn't think of him as worthy of the office of President of the United States. I thought that he was a liar, and I lived in this false idealism of our leaders must be clean-cut, some truthful moral examples for the rest of us. Well, if you believe in that ideal, then Trump definitely doesn't fit that.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
But then the question is, who does? Yes, Obama was clean cut. He would never speak out of line, be very careful with what he says, never cheated on his wife, never banged a porn star or his intern. And you know he demonstrated the kind of traits that we were led to believe are prerequisites of being a president. This video is not about criticizing or singing songs about Obama, but I have to acknowledge that we live in a reality TV world. As people, we have become accustomed to seeing people without the filters they put on themselves. Grab them by the pussy. Yeah, any person should be embarrassed when something like that comes out, let alone a candidate for president.
They let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Yeah, sure. We never heard Obama say anything like that, but can anyone say that he never said something like that to any of his friends in a deeply private moment? If you're a guy, then you know we've all spoken loosely at one point or another in our lives. The standards that we set for our leaders are so unrealistic that no human will ever be able to live up to those standards. But yeah, most of us would be able to cover them up or hide them. Trump's only fault is that he was unable to hide his locker room talk. Other presidents were just better at it. We all remember that grab him by the pussy quote, but do you remember this quote of Trump? YouTube, I am quoting and criticizing the former president. These are not my views. Sorry, I have to give these disclaimers, otherwise YouTube can take the video down or demonetize me. In which case, you can support my work by going to patreon.com/HarrisSultan, or you can buy me a coffee by going to buymeacoffee.com/HarrisSultan. Okay, let's get back to the quote. Undoubtedly, the most unattractive women in the world are the Indian women. Undoubtedly. I mean, people say, what about the black Africans? Well, I mean, they have a little animal-like charm. But God, those Indians? Ugh, pathetic. Ugh. Disgusting, yeah? But Trump didn't say it. Richard Nixon said it after he met with Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi back in 1971. Yeah, different times, different standards, so I won't judge Nixon by today's standards. But anyway, the point is, at some point in our lives, we have all said pretty embarrassing things which we would not like to admit in front of the whole world. So why have these unrealistic standards for presidents but not for ourselves? To be fair, these standards do serve a purpose. The fear of these things coming out keeps us in check and forces us to be mindful of our language, but that's about it. You've said questionable things, I've said questionable things. We all understand that we should be careful, but that doesn't mean that we should be crucified for 1 or 10 random loose conversations. What the left doesn't understand is that we live in the reality TV world when you try to tell the electorate that, look what Trump said, oh, gross, he's disgusting, he's a misogynist, a lot of men, even clean-cut men, are thinking, yeah, that's embarrassing, but geez, I've said a lot worse things. We're all fallible people. We all make mistakes. A president should not be judged for which porn star he banged. He should be judged for what economic or foreign policy he's going to adopt. So if you're a man living in the 21st century who is realistic and understands that we all have said these kind of things at one point or another in our lives, then I'm not going to not vote for Trump because of this. The left wasted so much time demonizing Trump than actually convincing people that he was bad for America. That's why it didn't work. Okay, what about Trump cheating on his wife and paying the infamous hush money? I'm no legal expert, but every expert I have heard has said that it seems politically motivated. For example, John Malcolm described this hush money case as, let me quote, the most overtly political of the 4 criminal cases pending against him. He also said that Bragg turned a relatively minor record-keeping charge, which typically results in a civil fine or misdemeanor, into a 34-count felony indictment. Other experts like John Shue, Eli Honig, Bill Otis, and Matthew DeLuzzo have all echoed these sentiments. If Bill Clinton cheated on his wife and paid hush money to Paula Jones to stay quiet on sexual harassment accusations, not just cheating, okay, sexual harassment accusations, then why is everyone so interested in Trump banging a porn star almost 2 decades ago when he wasn't even the president? Oh, you'll use anything to bring down a political opponent. Oh, okay, I see it. I get it now. Do you know the difference between banana republics like Myanmar or Pakistan or Afghanistan? Well, actually, Afghanistan is way worse. Comparing this act of Biden with the Taliban might be a bit of a stretch. So let's just stick to more realistic banana republic examples like Pakistan or Myanmar. Whenever someone comes to power in those banana republics, they politically victimize the other side. Right now, in Pakistan, a former Prime Minister Imran Khan is rotting away in prison for over a year. And get this, he was also accused of insurrection on 9th of May 2023. Just like Trump. I'm not saying that Trump didn't quite dog whistle his supporters. Just like Imran Khan, he also kind of dog whistled his supporters to, protest if the military comes and arrests him, which they did. But the point is, you don't go after your political opponents. That was Pakistan, where Imran Khan wasn't the first political victim of the establishment, nor will he be the last. But America. I thought America was one of the best democracies in the world. America lectures the world on democracy. In America, the people in power don't persecute or kill their political opponents, but it looks like Biden missed the memo. Even if you think that you're just upholding the law, it never works. Because even if you are in the right, the supporters of your political opponents are going to see him as a victim, just like how they're seeing Imran Khan as a victim in Pakistan. So the only way to defeat your political opponent is on election day. The founding fathers of America understood this. As I understand, even if Trump is jailed, he can still run for president. So what was the freaking point? You're making Trump even bigger than what he was before. People like me and many more who were sitting on the fence are now being pushed towards Trump. When I see this circus, I genuinely believe that, really? Trump is so bad that out of 46 presidents up to Biden, he's the only one who needs to be convicted of a felony? What, did he murder someone? Did he stab someone? Did he rape anyone? Oh, you got him on a technicality of falsifying a legal document. Yeah, I see what that is. So, if I were an American, I would have voted for Trump just because of the optics of this. The Democrats and the left are so mind-numbingly stupid that they have learned absolutely nothing from their past mistakes. Every character allegation that they throw at Trump, it comes back and strengthens Trump even more than before. So what makes you think that this stunt of yours is not going to make him even more popular? He's definitely more popular in my eyes now. You've shot yourself in the foot again. The left is so stupid that you don't realize that you have opened a can of worms. When Trump was in office, they never let him get on with his job. But if Trump becomes vindictive, then get ready for cases against Hillary, Hunter Biden, Jill Biden. A part of me wants to see that happen, but I really hope that Trump doesn't become vindictive, because I'm telling you, that will not be good for America. I'm saying that as an outsider. smaller Western countries like Australia, we need a strong America where there's rule of law, where democratic institutes are strong, which actually leads me to criticism of Trump and some of his supporters. Trump presents himself as an isolationist. His non-involvement in Europe, especially Ukraine, severely disrupts the Western world order. His careless talk of undermining NATO actually strengthens Putin, a mad dictator like Putin.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
I take his criticism that European countries must pull their weight in and contribute more, but he shouldn't threaten to pull out of NATO. A lot of Republicans are becoming isolationist who say, we don't need to get involved in another European conflict. These people need to understand that without a prosperous Europe, there is no prosperous America. America became a superpower after the Second World War and invested a lot of money into Europe. So America needs a safe and secure Europe. If Putin destroys Europe, then yeah, sure, there won't be any bombs going off in American cities, but you'll have a lot more poverty in America. Some Republicans say, oh, we have so many homeless people here in America. Why are we sending $60 billion to Ukraine? The cost of not maintaining countries like Ukraine in the Western camp is far higher than $60 billion. So I don't really like this about Trump or his supporters when it comes to that. And I really hope that when he comes to power, he'll tackle Putin, not just lie down in front of him. Secondly, Trump is not really an isolationist. He's very pro-Israel, and so am I.
But it's very simple. Joe Biden betrayed America and betrayed Israel. But as your president, I will stand with Israel 100%. Do we have to?
Israel is a Western-style democracy, and abandoning Israel to Islamists and jihadis is a dent for all democracies in the world, even though a lot of democracies these days are speaking up against Israel, which is just a fad and it'll go away. We, as in the West, must also protect Taiwan. Australia is a small country, but we're investing in nuclear submarines and modern weaponry because we understand that if the West goes to war with China, we have to stand with the little guy, Taiwan. Being an isolationist is such a bad strategic move that people think that if they save $50-60 billion here and there, then they'll have roads made out of gold. Far from it. If Australia gets attacked, although I don't think that's ever going to happen, but what are these isolationist Republicans going to say then? Oh, why should we go to war when Sydney and Melbourne are getting bombed? Australia's not even a NATO ally. Will you abandon Australia? People say these things so casually without even pausing for a moment to think about the consequences. Anyway, I don't want to sound like a Trumpian blowing Trump's trumpets. That came out all right. I thought that was a tongue twister. But other than his isolationism, I think he would be a better president than Biden or Obama. Trump is the only candidate who understands the threat of this unchecked invasion of fighting age migrants.
We're going to start with that, and we have to get them out. No country can sustain what we're going through. I believe the number is 15, 16 million, could even be 17 million people right now. That's more than that's bigger than almost all of our states.
You only have to look into Europe to see what happens when you don't protect your borders. Trump seems like the only person who understands that Islam is not compatible with Western liberal values.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out.
America is the single most important country when it comes to the Western liberal world order. But a lot of these leftist politicians, they don't seem to care at all. Every day, we now see Islamists stabbing and killing random native Europeans thanks to unchecked migration. But instead of doing anything about it, they say, oh no, we need more migrants, criminals, jihadis, rapists, who knows what kind of people are coming through. When I go to another country, legally, they look into my criminal history. And that's how it should be. Who is checking the police reports of all of these undocumented migrants? And if you say anything, then, oh, you're a racist. So anything will do, but not this current leftist, maniacal, diabolical lunacy. So the only fear that I have about Trump is that he will abandon Ukraine. But I really hope that the establishment and other experts in Trump's administration won't allow him, because a president is not the end-all and be-all. Governments are complex, and someone will be able to convince Trump of the significance of America standing by Ukraine. Not to mention, I'm not happy with him overturning Roe v. Wade either. I firmly believe that women should have control over their bodies, not some politician or some Bible-thumping nutbag. Other than that, I think he's the best candidate. The Democrats have totally lost it. So I hope you liked today's video. If you would like me to continue making awesome videos like these, then you can be my patron by going to patreon.com/HarusSultan, or you can buy me a coffee by going to buymeacoffee.com/HarusSultan. Until next time, ta-da. If you'd like to support my work, you can become my patron by going to patreon.com/HarusSultan, or you can simply buy me a coffee.